Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live, depending on when you're logging on, this Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, at The Real Bloom From Within Love. I go by Bloomy. And anything you guys need to know about me should be listed in the description box. To all of you that are truly benevolently, divinely guided to my channel for any reason, and you send love and light and positive vibes and support, and I just want to say thank you. You guys are a part of the reasons why. You are a part of my why and what I do with Bloom From Within Love. Okay. And if you're interested to know a little bit more, I invite you all to go to check out the goodies that I've selected for you all, playlists I've created, recommendations of other channels and other folks' content that I have found useful and I feel like may be useful for you if you're open to it as well. Also, with Bloom From Within Love, as I'm sure you guys are finding out, it's a mixed bag, honey. So I have no qualms and no judgments of any other type of flow. I just simply mention it because I am a mixed bag. Here at Bloom From Within Love, it's more than about tarot. It's more than about just the professionalism and structures of what I do as a starseed earth angel, as someone that practices Reiki and light languages and all these things. And so a part of my journey is also the transparency and sharing my journey, the raw, the real, okay, all of it, the uncut. Okay, so in other words, it's not going to always be fairies, confetti, and butterflies and namastes. Sometimes it's going to be namaslays. The namaslays come from a young lady that created a little mini oracle deck called SAF or something that's fuck. So she said namaslay. Okay, that's where that statement came from. And sometimes that is the energy because it's equally a part of it. And it's up to us, I do want to say, in fairness, we're all different, even in this path. Everybody is on different timelines, phases, levels, seasons, dealing with different situations. Everybody's gone through something a little bit different, and everyone's expression of how they do this. So you're the one that's going to have to determine how you're balancing out your masculine, feminine. You're the one that's going to have to determine when it's time for you to be more into your edge and your dark, and when it's time for you to be more soft, because it is you that knows what your journey has been, and it is you who knows what it is now. So try not to get too worried about anyone's opinion on that, okay? As long as you know you're checking in with your heart, long as you know you're coming from your heart, high vibrational energy in a balanced way the best you can. Because sometimes it is vengeance and vindication from the ancestors that's coming through you, okay? And not everybody may not understand that. And the way I like to help people to equate it is when we stop mystifying things and make it personal and sit with it and be honest with ourselves, this is when we will see what our real response would be to things. It's easy for any of us to sit back and go, oh, we should not be that way, or you shouldn't say this and be, not everything is arrogance. Okay, not everything is arrogance and not everything is swollen head. Some people do get that. Okay, but see, that's something that they have to check, and their higher selves and guides are aware if that's the case or not. Because let me tell you something. Some folks that you all are hearing sounding very confident now, let me tell you why. They spent a lot of their time and most of their lives around people that were constantly trying to squelch them, okay? That were constantly trying to make them second guess themselves and silence them and make them feel weak. So it's not that what you're hearing it's not really what people think. Arrogance is what all of these people were operating in, feeling entitled to do and say certain things towards people that they don't like, that they are envious of, that they want to have their lives. That's arrogance. Arrogance is something that you really don't have qualification or something to that effect. And because of a stature, a label, things, you feel you the shiznit. Okay. But when you hear confidence coming out of people, okay, it's not always the same. It's not always what people think. This is why it serves us all well. Wait for it. because you don't really know the full dynamics of what has played a role in helping that person to become that or created what you're hearing. Some people were squelched and silenced and bullied and people try to make folks, that's what narcissistic people do though. So when the Ha'oka wakes up, because when she's asleep or he's asleep, they're still deep in their pain, their trauma, their wounding. They're still navigating through all of the conditioning. So they don't operate fully and they're usually easy prey. But when the Ha'oka wakes up, this is when you get to see the edge, and the edge is equally divine because it's bringing in justice. I always talk about it, offense, defense. People are going to catch that one day. It's a difference, okay? Because narcissistic types don't fight fair, okay? Because fighting fair would mean someone is what? They got integrity. Fighting fair would mean what? Someone is honest. Fighting fair would mean what? Someone does something out in the open. Fighting fair means what? You see what I'm saying? So the issue is narcissistic people, lunatics, sociopaths, psychopaths, they don't fight that way. They're very cowardly and sneaky. And this is why the role of the Ha'oka comes in, because it's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to take care of that. Okay. So don't get it mixed up. The Ha'okas aren't arrogant. Okay. That's not what it is. They probably spent their lives allowing people to use them and silence them and bully them and push them in a corner. Okay. And now it can't happen. They're not even the same. They're not the same person. Once they go through a certain level of the healing, they're the same, but they're not. They're the higher version of themselves, which is both yin and yang, but it's equally both, fairies and butterflies, and then phoenix, dragon. Okay, that energy, the destroyer, they're both, because it balanced that Mayat and Kali Ma and those energies, those tougher feminine energies that they're still feminine, whether people wanted to admit that or not. They're still divine feminine, but they the whoop-ass version. They're the version that has to come in to expose darkness, speak the truth, empower, liberation. Okay, they have to play that role in these types of scenarios. Okay, now I wanted to share something. I know there's an interesting title. I think I said something like the twist, how they manipulate, how they convince. I promise you guys, I don't even know how I do it. Sometimes it kind of baffles me how I'm able to rhyme. I was like, was I supposed to be like a writer or singer or some shit? Because sometimes it come and I'd be like, whoa, oh, it rhymes, right? And it was an accident. In this case, I did not intentionally have it to rhyme, and I just thought I would share that part. Well, okay. So that's just a little funny something, but I have something to tell you. I'm going to give y'all an example, okay? But it's clever. The other day, I was on a live. I want to say I was on one of my TikToks, and I had someone come in and make a comment. Mind you, I draw in a lot of karmic energy. I'm actually aware of all of them that come in. This is what's kind of fun about it, because I still go about it as if, right? So they come in, and someone made a comment. I forget the reading. I was doing a reading, or they made a comment and they said something about, but what if they don't leave? What if they won't leave? What if they won't leave? I never thought that they would leave. Am I still, something to this effect? Am I still responsible? Because what if they won't leave, right? And I think at that time, I just made a comment. I kind of already knew them, but I kept the comment more general and in a different way. I think I said something like, well, essentially, this is what happens. None of us can outsmart the universe. We can't outsmart source. We can't outsmart spirit guides. And so no matter who said what, did what, who offered what, who invited who stand where and who and why, whose house it is, who ain't, like no matter what the get down is, right? Nobody escapes what source has been, or their spirit guides have been ushering them to do. Whether that be they've ushered somebody to say, tell that person to go, or they ushered someone and told them to, I told you to go. You know, whatever it is, nobody could squeeze their way out of it. But I want to tell you guys a secret about what I know. I'm specifically going to tell you a secret about what my sister did. And this is going to apply to some of y'all's, okay? Well, haven't you ever been around people that they do spell work, high-level manipulation, put shit in people's drinks, all sorts of shit to make their ass virtually almost incapacitated except for breathing and drinking and fucking. But anything shy of that, emasculated, non-functional, okay? And in some cases, sabotage to sickness or whatever, okay? Sabotaged someone's resources or anything outside of them, right? Haven't you ever been around people like that? They did that, and then the person comes to them to stay there. And because, you know, the person has been doing spell work on them so that they could have nowhere else to go. So they can have no more support, so that everybody would turn from them, you know, because that's my sister. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's what she was doing on me, and that's what she did on Counterpart, just so you know. Ding dong, confirmation. So, you know, then they do this, right? Because see, they want the whole role, you see. Y'all got to start catching it. And the 3D and on external, they want the whole role of daunting, caring wife, daunting, caring supporter, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex, or whatever the fuck, okay? The sacrificial, you know, it's a twist to it. So they do the spells to cause chaos and conflict so the person can what? Keep trying to come back. She did that with me. The reason why she got pissed is because I got, like I said, see, it comes when you surrender. It comes when you surrender. This is what people don't get it. I said, fuck that. I'll suffer. When I learn and when I pick up something is off and something is wrong, whether people believe me or not, okay, whether other people can see it or not, whether other people are blinded by these external so-called acts of kindness or not, then I'll be like, fuck that. Light team, somebody, universe and shit. You know what I'm saying? When I was still not clear, I was like, it was funny. I mean, it wasn't, but I'm looking back at it because it's like I see the boldness, but I can almost see like, I see the humor and fury at the same time. The part of me that was like, light team, Jesus, all of the people in the upstairs, you know, like, you know, and somebody comes up, a motherfucker, like, fuck that. I ain't dealing with that shit. Something wrong with this motherfucker. Bye. I'm going to have to work this shit out. I need to separate. Fuck that. I'm going. If I struggle, let me struggle. But I will not. If I got to go get in a damn weekly, then I got to live in a weekly. See, the problem is some people are too proud. They're too proud. They're too afraid of how it's going to look. Everybody's going to laugh at you. And who is these everybody's dizzy motherfuckers that don't matter anyway? Why do you care? They're barely keeping their head above water anyway. They're just one dick suck away from possibly not having the shit. Now, so just fuck that. Fuck that. Everything is not quite as it seems. We have to be willing to humble ourselves. I had to go that route. I really didn't care because I've never been one that was too caught up in it in the first place. I can appreciate everything, but I've never been one too caught up in it. So, like, okay, I'm out. Whoa, because they doing weird shit. And ever since I've been out here around these motherfuckers, weird shit. She did sick shit to my son. She gonna burn pretty damn bad for that. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty for those who wanted that virgin blood. who was in his dreams, didn't think his mother would know, didn't think it'd be revealed. They gonna burn. It's gonna be pretty bad, y'all. Sick. Now, back to what I was saying. I got out. And I was willing to go it alone, to struggle, to do what I have to do. Because the longer you stay in that codependency that they claim they don't want, okay, she kept doing chaos magic spells, kept doing crown chakras issues and things of that nature, okay? And because I thought she was my sister, and I thought, for a time period before I stopped going, that there was some core level of some type of decency up in the motherfucker before, at the end when I said, that's it. Okay. And this is what she did to the counterpart. So then she can go back and looking like she's sitting there, just like as she did with me, looking like she's trying to be so supportive and helpful, and look at what she did, and look at how she helped, and look at how many times she opened up her door, and look at, things just keep happening. So it's like to make them keep feeling bad. So she tried to make me feel bad for kept coming, which it shouldn't be no fucking statute of limitations, bitch. You know what I'm saying? If your fucking family, you know what I'm saying? And if they haven't done nothing to violate you per se, and if you ain't feeding their ass, and like she tried to make it seem like she was doing so much. Me and my son didn't halfway touch none of that shit because we didn't want it. We mostly had all our own shit. We just was laying our head there. It wasn't like what people thought. So, because we're picky anyway, especially my son. So it wasn't even like that. So, like we were just some kind of fucking mooches and shit somewhere. It wasn't even like that. But the sick part about what she does is she does spell work because she needs to feed off people's energy. She needs to feel needed. She needs to feel wanted. But she's sick, and it has to be where like these poor people, they keep coming back. I keep trying. She did that with her daughter, her oldest. Codependent on the energy, but doing spell work. I bet her kids don't know that. I bet they don't know. I bet they don't know. And I bet they don't believe it because they've been under her spells. I bet they don't know. Especially the oldest one, because she's jealous of her own daughter. Even though she likes to post stuff and act like it's probably because of some kind of benefit she getting, if you're going to see anything like that. And then they get that, they look at their children like objects. So they feel like they're getting something if the child is getting compliments. They feel like you ain't part of none of the shit. Or you had sex and you squeezed the baby out and boom. Shit. Anyway, so that's the signature of my sister. And people that are, like I said, either they're equally asleep or weak-minded or super young and not in the know. And they just look at this stuff on the surface and go, well, no, that can't be right. She gave them money. She let them come stay there a couple of times. And she, dumb fucks. Watch some TV shows, life. So she was fucking him. So they already had that soul tie, that sex demon energy. Then on top of all of the spell work, she was sending, even if and when the times he tried to separate it from her. It wasn't love, honey, that was drawing his ass back. Let me just go ahead and let y'all know. It wasn't love. Okay? For a while, it was the codependency of drugs and alcohol and sex and gambling and thievery and fuck shit. And then after that, when it was no longer that, then it was about causing chaos and conflict, because now they don't want you to leave. They want you to have to come back, but they don't want it to seem like it's them. They want it to seem like you need them. So let me fuck up their finances. Let me fuck up their connections. Let me make it hard. Let me make them sick, make them tired, so that they don't have no other choice but to drag their asses here. And then so I can go around saying, I don't know why, they wouldn't leave. They keep coming back. They're here. And I'm just trying to be nice. And I was just trying to do the right thing and be decent. That's the twisted shit. The twisted manipulation and how they convince. And the people that had came on my profile and made that comment, that's really, I feel like it was her, okay? It was either her or one of her flying monkeys, okay? It was somebody connected to all this shit that was trying to imply like, oh my gosh, because, they're still weak. They're still panting and trying so hard to feed their ego and to feel important and to make it seem like people just want. No, the fuck not. The shit that's done went down is due to fucking spell work, motherfuckers. I'm just gonna call it. It's been spell work and fucking demons and all the other shit. That is what it's been. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't buy that shit. It ain't like that. I'm just saying, in collective, that's how it is for you all as well, if you guys got similar situations, okay? But I wanted to share that little tidbit piece. So when you guys are like, especially if just outskirts of people that are coming, because they just be gullible swallowing it up. So the next time you hear somebody going around trying to act like, I told them, they keep coming. The hoe is doing spells for them too. Okay. And sending chaos so that they don't have help, so people can feel cornered in. Okay. Like they don't have nothing else they can do and nowhere else to go. That's some sick, dizzy shit, isn't it? She tried it on me. The shit won't work. Broke. I went on with my get down. Okay. That's what was a part of their fury. Because I was supposed to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it so that she can build up her case that I can't take care of myself or my son. And she was doing sick shit to my son in the energy world. Okay. And cruelty. See, that's why I said people better is serve folks where to keep their mouth shut and to not get caught up and involved in that stuff, because there's some penalties on her head. That's on her head from source and the higher realms and the ancestors. It's on her head. Not only for what she did to me, but what she did to my son. Okay. And anyone who actually knew about that, and anyone who actually collaborated with it. And I'm going to even say this, anyone who knew about it and turned a blind eye to it and didn't follow their guidance when they were told to tell me. Anybody who cowered and ran and hid out of fear, their asses is being brought to the carpet. Folks that were being called to bring the light and speak some truths that didn't, not the ones that did, the ones that didn't. The ones that continue to lie for them and hide it. Okay? That is the kind of shit they do. They cast spells to make your life hell and cast spells to make you come back, sweeping dust and give you a pill and put most shit in your medicine, and then go around talking to all your people and behind your back about, you won't leave and you keep coming back. Okay? She's not who y'all think she is. Keep dealing with her. You're going to watch your own life self-destruct right along with hers. And I'm not just talking about my counterpart. I'm talking about anybody. And if it's them together, If he's locked because she put one too many demons on him, one too many times, to where he locked himself out of his own divinity, they're both frying and will fry, and anyone that connects with them, okay? And this is not lack of compassion. If you don't know the full dynamics of this story and what has transpired up until this point, it serves you well to just not go there. You don't know what lives were affected around all this and for how long, and the energies or the individuals in which they've targeted, which is myself, which is a starseed earth angel, but it's also my son, which is a pure soul that is a virgin that hasn't been convoluted with all of this worldly shit, which is why people like that want his energy around. And I am calling judgment to be amplified on all motherfuckers that violate people like him. To energy harvest, to go and create and do shit because they're weak and empty as fuck. Okay? And then hoard around their shit to such a degree that they can't do nothing but do shit like that. I'm asking that there's an extra special level of friary for those motherfuckers that target the elderly that's sick, or that targets, you know, the virgins that's special and different and are not exposed to that outside world, but they want to invade in their dream state and invade in their astral travel and do shit to them and to their penises and, you know, do weird shit. I'm asking that they let them fry and let them all be stripped and exposed publicly, because they're going about trying to act like they're decent human beings, and no decent human being would partake in something like that for no reason. Not for fame, not for fortune, not for a man, not for a marriage, not for a fuck, not for vengeance, not so they can look good. No decent human being. So what does that tell you? They are not. You can believe them crying at the altar if you want to, but you don't know what the fuck happened. You think you got discernment. I had somebody come on one of my videos a while long back ago making some snarly comment about my 3-minute intro, and then something about they got discernment. Well, no, the fuck you don't. And you reveal yourself by going around on other people's platforms, in which, first and foremost, if it ain't what you did, why the fuck are you there? Also, your insecurity. Do you not have something of your own? So you have to go around critiquing someone else's shit because you have nothing, or yours is shit? You reveal yourself by nature of the comment. Because here, collective, see, at the end of the day, if people have all the insight and discernment in which they're trying to convince you of, let me promise you this. If this is truth, you won't have to convince them. I don't care if they got Bibles, crosses, sage bundles, huge buildings, groups. I don't care. You know what you went through. You know what happened. If they got all the down discernment they saying they got, and the insight and the whoop whoop, then they wouldn't be siding with fucking lunatic narc demon motherfuckers. So let that be your freedom, collective. When you find that people are still acting like they don't believe it and they don't see it and they don't understand it, and okay, yeah, because you's dizzy and you's ain't with, okay, goodbye. Don't waste your hours and breaths trying to convince these people anymore. Please take this stuff as precautionary tale, y'all. Please, if you can, the shortcut version, okay? That's how the crazy making is. Because on the surface, if you want to break it down to looking at this shit in the surface of what I'm explaining, just looking at it, especially if they have this, let's say they have this look on their face and they're crying and they try to cloak their energy and they're going, like the whole look is buying into the whole little appearance of, like I said, caretaker. She wants to be seen as a caretaker, and I'm the one that's a real caretaker. Do you see the twisted shit in that? My mother's the same way. The people they end up dealing with always die off, get sick, get something. It's just crazy. Because they're lunatics and they're energy vampires. They're gone. They're not what you think. They're stuck in this person's energy. They don't give a fuck about that soul. They could be sitting over there. I told y'all got to learn how to watch it. Mommy Dearest, the movie Run and shit, Whoop. They are codependent. And then they try to make the person feel bad, just like that mother did in Run, that they poisoned to have to be there. And then try to tear them down like they're just so weak and they can't function and they can't do nothing on their own. That's my sisters and them get down while they play the role in sabotaging the shit in the first place. And they themselves are hypocrites because she had to suck and fuck her way into most of what she got. She had to spell cast her way into what the most fuck she got. See, people didn't know that. She had to steal and manipulate, okay, and fraud and forgery her way, okay, other social security numbers, other names, and all this stuff. People didn't know that, but tried to appear like she was this together person and everybody else is not together. Oh, they're just so codependent. You're so codependent on them. That's why you're so trying to make it so that they have to keep coming back to your whole ass. Whether it's your daughter, a motherfucker, a man, or whomever. Because when people liberate themselves from folks like her entirely, they get pissed. And guess what? Here's the clue. This is why they smear campaign me. This is why they targeted me. This is why they tried to so-called do all this shit and speak against me, because I don't need their asses. And I never have. And you think they won't betray you, you're in for a rude awakening. My mom doesn't know that I know something that happened when I was 19. I know something that she did. And I'm about to tell you what it is. When I was 19 years old, I want to say, 18, 19 years old, the person that I was dating at that time, okay, I got caught up in illegal activity with them, okay? This is when I was 18, 19. And time went by, I had already broken up with the person that I was dating at that time, that I was involved with what took place, okay? The crime, okay? And I didn't know I was being hunted. Then the FBI, the police, the FBI came to my mom's house that I was staying with at the time, out of the blue. It was connected to something for my son. It was weird, some paperwork or something like that. Out of the blue, but they came under the guise of like they were county workers or county officials. Okay. And then right before they came, as I was, they were getting ready to come, because I was like, well, I could come. And they were like, no, we'll come. And then I told my mom, I was like, they're coming. She was like, oh, I know. We're about, we're going to go to the store. I'll take Darrell and Reggie. We're going to go to the store. I was like, oh, okay. So as soon as she left, they came in like gangbusters. You would think I had done something serious, right? And it wasn't like that, but you would have thought it. It was two of them. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I answered the door thinking it was, the county, whatever. And then I got under arrest. Now, as they're walking me out, my mom is pulling up. Okay. So she was working with them. My mother, she was working with them. And worse yet, here it is. Listen, Worse yet, instead of, if she, if it was a situation where maybe if she just felt scared or threatened or something, if it was more innocent in nature, which I would understand, then at least she would have been like, okay, I'm just going to try to stay away for a while. I don't want her son or Reggie to have to see her coming out with handcuffs and getting into the police car. It's kind of traumatizing. No, she wanted that. And she wanted to see it because she's sick. Okay. So she didn't know that I know. There's other things that she don't know that I know yet. And I'll be, like I said, this is a roster and I'm going down the line and, we got a whole little line of shits we going to be doing. And everybody will get their turn. Anybody who's ever fucked over me, actually. If they keep fucking with me, especially. Because see, my silence all that time was folks' opportunities to do the right thing, their opportunity to shut the fuck up, their opportunity to stop lying, their opportunity to tell the truth, their opportunity. That's what my silence was for. All that time. My silence, me going away, healing and all that, the silence. It was designed that way. And it is with you, collective. It's for you to heal and for people to have their opportunities. But that time gets to a place of expiration. Okay. So once this does happen, then it's free falling now. It's free falling. So then there's the roster to go down the list and shit. Okay. For you to speak your truth. And then for those who continue to fuck with you, to expose all of them and what they're doing. And then, worse yet, the secrets that they don't want no one on the earth to know about. Okay? So, in other words, if it's their sexuality, if it's their criminal activity, if it's their lovers, if it's, whatever it is, because they incessantly went after you and did those things and continue to. So, this is their lot. That's a part of their lot. Right? Continue to do all that background shit. Okay, well, the higher up said, we already told y'all, and everybody think it's a joke. Okay. So all the motherfuckers that fucked over Brandy Holloway, all the motherfuckers that fucked over her son, all the motherfuckers that came against her business and her work, let's line them up. Let's go down the roster. Line them up. Line them up because they should have minded their fucking business. They should have stayed in their lane. They should have shut the fuck up. And those that participated, they should have stopped their participation. Those that were being told to speak truths, they should have opened their fucking mouths and did the right thing. So cowards alike, everybody is all getting there. Line up, motherfuckers. Line up. Get ready. The higher realms is dishing it. And when I'm given, they're going to say, speak. And guess what? I do have a right to do that. It is in my full rights to do it. The trick is they have conditioned starseeds and earth angels and empaths for so very long to feel like we don't. To make us feel bad about speaking out the truths and to make us feel bad about being upset and angry or feeling some kind of way. It's like, come here. Okay, you say I'm wrong, huh? Come here real quick. Come here, just come here in a few minutes. Okay, you say I'm wrong, right? You say I'm wrong. Okay, come here. And bring me your daughter. Bring me her. Which one? Who do you love the most? Who is your favorite? Bring me him. Bring him here. Come here. You say I'm wrong? Come here. I'm wrong? Come here. Give me your baby and your disabled son and let me rip his pants down and grab his penis. Now, how do you feel? What do you want to do to him? Am I wrong? Huh? Bring him here. Bring her here. Come here. I'm wrong for this. Yes. Let's see. Let's do a test. Let's have fun. Come here. You say I'm wrong, huh? Come here. Bring me that. Over there. As this is your source of income. Oh, this is your What is that, your home? What is that? What is that, your sons or your daughters? Okay, what, and okay, is it important to you? Is it valuable? Okay, bring it here. Just, okay, just bring it here. And then let me slap the fuck out of it. Okay, let me do that. Let me slap the fuck out of it. Let me tear it down. Let me do all that. Now, tell me, how do you feel and what do you think is right? Call the motherfuckers out on their fake humility, their fake godly, their fake spirituality, their fake sorry, their fake practices. When the rubber meets the road, and when it hits home and becomes personal where it counts, ain't nobody finna be no damn quiet. Ain't nobody finna be PC. Ain't nobody finna care about what other people think. Somebody violated yours, you gonna be showing up in the get down, ass whoop, energetic, however you want to call it. If it was something in your face, you gonna self-defend. If they were physically doing something, you gonna make sure the ass they gonna remember before it's over. You ain't gonna be saying, oh, you're just such a sad. No, I'm gonna say, no, you probably a walking dead. They need to relieve you of being here. Because if you're gonna go around doing sick shit like that to somebody's fucking kids, they do need to relieve you. I mean business. That's the twisted way they go about it. Oh, see how I helped? Let me do all the spells and make them have to come back and then tell everybody they won't leave. Stop lying, motherfuckers. You don't want them to, honey. And then you want to try and tear them down. That's what they did to me. And that's what they do to anybody who they feel like they want to use their energy or their resources, and if they're feeling like they're losing control. So case in point, if with my counterpart, if that's what happened to him, he came to a point of where he felt like he wanted to leave. If that happened, then henceforth commence the extra spell work. I must do new spell work to cause chaos and conflict. Anything he does and everywhere he go, in his money, his jobs, his finances, his health, his resources. So there's no other option but to what? No other option but to what? So they can look like I'm standing over the stove and I'm dusting and making cakes and I'm trying to just, and I'm so wonderful. See, I'm an empath, am not, am devil. You see, I'm the one. I'm the one that's always letting people just letting them come here, and I just keep opening. Yeah. It's a show. And I'm sorry if any of you all fell for that. But I'm letting you guys know there's been foul play this entire time. So it wasn't just towards me. It wasn't just towards my son. It was towards my work and what I do. But it was also towards the counterpart. Okay. And unfortunately, he was in on it, and he, I'm sure. Okay. This was a thing. And they, when you bring two lunatic minds together, that's not a good make. Okay. If he didn't free himself, his whole lesson was to be similar to that of my own. Learning how to let go and come out of it. That was the point. That's why I went through it with her. That was the point. Learn the lesson, but get the hell out. Don't entertain that. Okay? If he didn't, you know, because he shared in addictions, you know, with her. So it was more easy for her to kind of still kind of keep him in that way. But she and I are like night and day. We have nothing in common. You damn straight we don't. We have zero. We just came out of the same hoo-ha. I don't even look at that woman as my mother. I look at her as the one I chose to carnate the bloodline to serve a purpose of that bloodline, to be the body, the host, to come out of. Okay? But nobody that can do death spells and rituals and sick, dizzy shit on their own children and offspring and grandchildren is considered a mother or a sister in my book. If you can collaborate and do some kind of shit like that, use full of devils and demons, energies, frequencies, beings, entities. I don't really care about the verbiage. All I know is malevolence. For me, it comes down to malevolent energy and benevolent energy. Because if you can do that and then smile and then call the person that you just did that on like nothing's happening, you're sick. So collective, that little trick, that little tip I'm telling you about, the next time you hear somebody, if you're a friend of family members of my counterpart, or if you're a friend and, you know, distant family members of mine that's not connected, or my sons, that kind of language, she is putting spells on people. They're putting spells on people to cause chaos and conflict as people are trying to heal and recover and develop and live their lives, especially when people have decided to detach from them so that they feel cornered in, bridges burned or cornered in, or make people turn against them so they feel like they have no other option but to come back so they can then be close to their energy again, so they can put more poison in, so they can do more woo-woo spells, so they can do more manipulation, so they can poison more food, more medicine, so they can suck and fuck more sex demons, so they can do all of that to get the person emasculated, weak and unable, but not due to the things that they're trying to convince you. It's due to them. Now, the fault of the other, like I said, I freed myself, so I learned my lesson. Well, but the blame on the other side of the coin, see, this is where we all have to take the responsibility here, you see. Because when I knew what was going on, when it became evident and clear, I made the call no matter how rough and tough it was going to be, so they could throw their chaos and the fucking shit. Didn't fucking matter for me. I was done. And I knew how to ask for higher help, and I was humble enough to not be stuck on, I don't want to live here, I don't want to live there, I don't want to do that, I'm too good for that, I'm too big for that, I don't want that. It's like, who the fuck cares? Fuck these motherfuckers. Some of the same motherfuckers that was talking that shit, I told y'all, some of the same motherfuckers that had something to say about where I was living at the time before I broke up with my ex the last time, are the same motherfuckers that was dizzy in the head and was still living with their fucking family members. They know who I'm talking about. All they asses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how the fuck? At least they ain't sucking and fucking and selling and buying. Ding dong. At least they ain't going around fucking putting spells on innocent lives and pure-hearted kids and some sick witch covens and fucking whores and shit. Fuck you. Like, dizzy motherfuckers. Ding dong, universe said correct, dizzy motherfuckers. But you want to judge somebody that's trying to heal and awaken and ascend and actually love and care for folks and help folks, and you know what I'm saying? Ain't sick in the head and willing to sell their soul for a fucking a house. Don't give me that shit. But when y'all's motherfuckers out there is listening, I'm not talking to my collective here. I'm talking to those that probably did this shit to my collective, like myself. Okay? And those that are around the scenarios of the collective here. Before you believe in this shit, learn how to fucking think critically and get some real discernment. Everything is not quite as it seems. You're sitting there and you're looking, talking about, oh, you know, she's saying, oh, they won't leave. No, I'm gonna keep saying that because somebody came and said that in my TikTok. It's like, nah, motherfucker, just stop trying. Because ain't nobody even all tripping on you like that. You got to do spells to make motherfuckers trip on you. That's how fucked up you are. You got to do spells. You got to do rituals. You got to sell your soul to Lucifer. You got to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Hoe and shit at age 1,000. It ain't like that. You got to poison motherfuckers to where they get sick and can't think straight in their head. And then so you can go about talking about them behind their back to their friends and family. And because people had backgrounds and shit, it's like, oh, well, but yeah, but that's the kind of get down she operated. And just so you know. Now, we have to take the responsibility. It's up to collectives to learn how to get themselves out of shit. Because that's what we stand, you know, prey to if we don't. See, that's a precautionary tale. It's what you stand prey to if you don't. If I were to keep going back to my family the way they wanted me to, after I finally got a clue, if I would have kept going back, if I would have kept, you know, falling apart because of the chaos, imagine going, oh my gosh, you know, if I would have, instead of healing, just going around fucking and doing other things, which means you're losing more strength. See, I got pretty damn smart. I embraced my awakening. I got smart. I said, oh, okay. I will heal. I will continue to heal. And I ain't giving now none of my goodness. Ain't now none motherfucker. That's when I switched. I said, oh, they think. I said, this is why people get fucked up in the head. Reading books by their cover and you're with the horror already. I've been celibate the entire time. See, that's what people get fucked up. Believe in shit. Fucked up. Just because I am sensual and I went through different phases and I tease and all of that shit. Worry about them real hoes. Because see, I've been celibate by choice. And it was a reason for it. People thought it had to do with, those that knew that I was celibate, they thought it had to do with, oh, she's just so. You can think that if you like. If that helps you. It was about me, honey. Me coming into honoring myself, realizing that I deserve better than, first of all, the low lives I felt that swarmed the fucking Sodom and fucking Gomorrah fucking, you know what I'm saying? I was like disgusted. I became disgusted at majority of what was there, to keep it on a 100. Because I started seeing through it. So I was like, you know, I was like, please. I was like, you know what? I ain't no that, fuck that. I was like, ain't nobody that damn desperate. When I get horny, I know what the fuck to do. That's what I told myself. I was like, fuck that. Because I started picking up the pieces. I started connecting the dots. I was like, oh, okay. So the more you share your sexual energy, that's what it is, my womb. It's like it's being sucked away from you and given to lowlifes that don't deserve it. That's just in for the party because half of them can't create and manifest. That's why they whores to begin with. So they go about fucking. Okay. So I got smart. Say, yeah, now another motherfucker's touching me. There will be no penises. There will be no, you know what I'm saying? None of that. I'm done until I feel like it's honorable and right for me. I won't be having sex. I am going to save my energy. And I started healing, and that helped me to have strength to be able to go through the rough waters. That is what helped me to have strength. Because when they were sending all of the chaos magic to me, when they were sending all of the obstacles, when they were doing all that stuff, I was actually healing. I wasn't, no matter what people thought, I wasn't all over the town. I wasn't fucking. I wasn't looking for the next man so that I can fucking feel better. I wasn't doing any of that. I allowed myself to feel my pain. I allow myself to feel the betrayals. I allow myself to feel it all, to acknowledge it all, to sit with it all. And then I decided to ascend. This was where the strength came in. This is where I was able to start to finally see clearly. This is where I was finally able to start co-creating and manifesting more and more with my spirit guides in the universe, because I wasn't convoluting my energy every day. I wasn't convoluting my energy, you know, because I was heartbroken. So now since that happened, I'm fenced to go fuck him, him, and him, and him. I wasn't doing that. And it sure the fuck wasn't because I couldn't. I knew I got smart because I was like, I'm not going back. They codependent. They're the motherfuckers that haven't been able to live with a dick between their legs since 1975. They codependent. I don't need it. I know how to survive and live on my own and in my energy. I was doing it before I got to fucking Sodom, and I'm doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And that's because I also didn't mind to, you know, humble beginnings. I didn't care about, oh, I lost this, and oh, I lost that, and oh, you know, I just embraced it and made the best of wherever I was. That's the true empress right there, motherfuckers. That's the empress. The empress ain't got nothing to do with putting on an empress hat and some sparkles and shit and a fucking picture and a title and some fucking candles. No, it's an embodiment. It is an energy. Motherfucker that can make fucked up shit be wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Like, without stealing from somebody else. Without fucking spell casting on some shit. Violating somebody else's shit. Motherfuckers in that energy ain't no fucking empress. Ain't no fucking high priestess, no damn divine. You just shut the fuck up with that. If you doing some fucking spell work and magic on other motherfuckers and stealing and doing dizzy shit and rituals and blood rituals, your ass ain't divine. You heard me? Now, whoa. When y'all hear me talk like that, look, for those of you who come in on the good side of this, then it's not you. Please know that. Okay? If you're on the higher vibrational side of this, please know that energy, the divine source and the spirit guide's fury is for those, it's targeting individuals that were partaking in it, acting like they're not, still up to it, don't have a heart, don't, you know what I'm saying? It's targeting them. It's not targeting people who are trying to heal and ascend and change, because that's different. They know the difference. We've all made these mistakes, but that's the whole point of it all. Some people are really awakening and healing. That's why I try to say it on my videos, especially the readings, the best I can, as much as I can, especially when I'm getting into different energies. I'm like, please understand. I'm not trying to, oh my God, I'm not trying to, whether you're a divine feminine or a divine masculine, it's like, please know that I am aware and understand the difference in terms of energy and when someone is trying to change, and source is aware of that. So if you know that you've shifted yourself and you're hearing what I'm saying, then it's more about just taking it as your lesson. If that was you, the people that's got to worry about all of that is those that actually are still sitting in it. They're still sitting in it. They get a high off of it. They're still strategizing. They're still planning. They're still calling 1-800, magician of all times in Jamaica. They're still, they're still doing it. They're still in the devilish energy. It's for them that the angels and archangels, ascended masters and so forth is targeting their asses. Ancestors and all of that, them higher realms is riding it. Okay? Because they're going about parading as loving and benevolent beings and trying to trick and fool people, and they're fooling the minds that are asleep, and those that are young and not in the know, and those that are burdened, and so they're fooling people with their spells and their illusions and their appearances of benevolence and charity. So that's why they're being exposed with fury. And they're going hard because too many lives have been negatively impacted. Some people have folks die behind dealing with these motherfuckers. Okay? And they was the main ones crying and falling out. Come on, I'm so here for you. I'm here for you. I don't understand. Divine Feminine did it. Yeah, because there's that jealousy. Let's target Divine Feminine. Let's scapegoat Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine don't have that inner to do. She ain't dumb, first and foremost. She not dumb. She not hateful. She knows how to be different than people and yet not have the incessant need without a cause to go after them, because she will go after who she need to with a cause where there's justice at play. In divine order, in the name of her defense, I'm going to say it again, offense, defense. In the name of defense, she has a right to do that. She does not target people that are different than her. They believe different than her. They don't like her. They look better than her, whatever. She don't care. She don't care. She don't care. She understands the laws of the universe and understands that she is the master. She will manifest. She knows that. So she ain't got to sit back and look at reader so-and-so and be mad because they shit, whoop, and be like, why they shit like that and shit? I'm better. I'm cuter. I'm better. I could do it better. See, that's why they don't know. Their energy's all fucked up. That's why right there. Point number one. But she don't sit back and go, oh, I don't see what the fuck. I don't even know what they like so much. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Or I deserve, and let me do a spell. Or sit there and stare so long with evil eye and fury because of the weakness. She don't do that. She don't have time for that. She don't wish that stuff on folks. Her war comes with motherfuckers that's fucking with her and what's hers. And that's divine order. That is what a real empress and emperor does. They don't go about trying to hurt people or just be brutal and all these shit. Those are the distorted versions. Those are the tyrants. Those are the narcs. Spiritual narcs, religious narcs, women narcs, men narcs, okay? Sexual narcs. They don't do that, but they do rule. And they do have the balance and wisdom of Solomon. Okay, when they need it, they know how to navigate. They know how to deal. And when when it calls for some real shit, it's like, yeah, motherfucker, we ain't singing Kumbaya right now. God damn it, we'll do that tomorrow. They not finna let somebody just come ruin their empire. Not a good emperor or an empress. No, they're not. They're there to oversee and manage all ports, all angles, and to execute accordingly whatever's needed in divine order. They ain't gonna sit down and let the fucking sycophants, you know what I'm saying, out there, the lunatics, fucking come run and wreak havoc in they shit. If they identify the lunatics, they fence them, they fence to take their ass down. They fence them to get their people, be like, whoa. And that's humane, no matter how we want to look at this. Nobody does that. If somebody's coming to your house to try to rob and all that stuff, you're not finna sing a song, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of people acting like, you know, in this ascension journey and path, I feel like we get typecasted in so many different ways, or these expectations, and everybody's got their views. Yes, love and light. Yes, 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 kindness. Yes, absolutely. Compassion, mercy, grace, all of that, all in balance. For those that are sincere, for those that are not full of malicious energy and frequency, for those that are reforming, for those that have the capacity to. You can't be frivolous with that. And the best way we can equate it is, look, stop mystifying this stuff. If somebody was coming to your house, let's just call this shit. If I don't care if you is the empath of all empaths. If somebody coming on your shit, you not finna stand at the front door and sing. You ain't finna surrender them to nothing. You ain't finna say, I surrender them to something. You're not finna do that. Your kids is in the background in one room, in another room, and over there. You're not finna do that. You ain't finna stand in front of the door. Okay, here's the lunatics. The lunatics are here. So we're finna just pray right now. Please make the lunatics go away. Please make the lunatics go away. Ancestors, make them go away, right? Ancestors are working in the background with you, but they're working through you, because guess what? They're actually a part of you. This is a whole nother lesson. I ain't going there. They're part of you until they disconnect from you, when they deem you a disgrace. When they say you're done, because yeah, we done with you. You did too much. You pushed us the fuck away. We tried to help your sorry ass. You kept doing shit. We're done. So don't ask us. We ain't giving you shit. But, you know, so for those of us that stay in that alignment, they'll tell you, see, a part of the role of spirit guides, the part of the role of the higher self, the part of the role, however you want to use it, it's not just rescue. Oh, they're just gonna in the ethers only, and they're just gonna poof pow. Some of that is happening, yes, absolutely. There is whoop ass on some level. It is happening, yes, indeed, yes. Okay, but the role is also for you to be in alignment with intuition, because they're gonna navigate you. Okay, they're gonna alert you. That's the point of wisdom, isn't it? That's the point of intuition, isn't it? So that you could be properly alerted when you need to take a form of an action. Because in some cases they're guiding you, in other cases they'll intervene. Just depends, and you have to know the difference. Sometimes they're saying, get the hell out. For example, if I didn't get the hell out of Sodom when I did, I might be dead. My son might be dead. Or we might be, you know what I'm saying, sick or in the hospital, or in some, you know, I'm just telling y'all, this is how this shit goes. Because those motherfuckers were not going to stop trying to get close to me. trying to get, to kidnap me or my son, trying to get close to drop shit somewhere and put something. They weren't going to stop doing that. Gone. Minds are gone. Gone. Just walking dead. So my guides had already been setting shit up a long time ago. I had to follow the prompts each step. I had to, and it was a process I had to follow. I was the one, to be honest, I told y'all, it was the last 3 months was me, because they had already did it. And this is what people didn't understand. This is what I kept saying to you all. I kept saying there's things that's done. I kept saying it. It was like November, Christmas, I had to start saying it. Because it was already done. The things that, not only me getting out of Sodom, but the other things that had been done, they were done. It wasn't fencing to, hoping, maybe praying. And I really meant that, and I knew it. So it was me at that point that I didn't leave Sodom immediately. It was me. And so in the process, as I stayed, because what happened in my case, I put a request to my higher self and my guides. I said, okay, because they will come to me too. They don't just go deal with my, folks outside of me. They talk to me, or they come deal with me when they feel like I'm not paying attention. They do that. Yes, the hell they do. So I had a dream, because I was stalling it out. I had a dream, and I remember one of my ancestors or spirit guides came, and they sat next to me. And in the dream state, I was resting. I was laying down, and they sat next to me, and they poked me. They were colorful. I wish I could remember their full image, but I guess it was done that way for a reason. But anyway, they was like, get up. Go, you need to go. They was like, do this now. Like, it was funny. And I was like, huh, and I sat up. I was all like, just like you sleep. It was like, you listen, come on. And so I got up, right? And this is when they directed me straight to a certain person. They, got the approval, got some paperwork. This was miraculous. They did it all online. Crazy shit. Who does that, right? How the hell you do that and you way somewhere else? How's that possible? But it happened. I followed my guides, and it was really that miraculous. And so then after that, then my guides was like, okay, so we showed her, okay, we visited her, we showed her in her dream, and she get up and she did that. She got her proof. She has her proof that, we were helping her, and that this is solidified, because now that's done. And so when I started stalling out more and more after that, then they were really like, okay, so you stalled out. We showed you, that you got your spot. We're helping you, blah, blah, blah. Come on, what's going on? So then at the second time they came back, then when I went to my own meditation and started talking to them, I said, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, please. I said, so look, may I request something? I was like, I would like to request. Could I request this for right now? So that, I was like, would you mind helping me out? Like, I said some shit, right? It was kind of cute. But I was like, my heart was that I was, as a mother, and my human side in this 3D part that still has a tendency to kind of be logical and to kind of go back and forth, out of needing to know how this is going to work out. Sure, you guys solidified me having a spot, right? Miracle. But how the hell we fencing to make this? This is a big way somewhere else. And how the hell we gonna do that? And it's not gonna have anything. So I was panicking. I was like, y'all got the spot, but we gotta work this out. So they honored it. My heart. I was trying to be a good mother. I was trying to be wise. I was trying to make sure that, okay, try to do this as delicately, where it's not as abrupt and traumatic for you or your son as possible. You guys have been through enough. So try the best you know how to plan it out. So the monies that I was getting, the things that was coming in, it was being strategized. So I asked for time. And this is the only reason why I feel like they allotted it. I'm going to be straight up honest. Because I asked specifically, I was like, okay, this is the, this is the plan of what I'm doing. I'm not just sitting here to dilly-dally. That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking because, I'm waiting on anyone or anything like that. I was like, it's all about, for me, health and well-being, safety and security for me and my son, and the most smoothest transition as possible. And in the meantime, with the monies that I get in, I ask them to help me and give me a strategy. I was like, could you guys help me? Give me a strategy with the monies I make, the monies that come in, so that I could prepare to do this towards the move, this towards this, and this towards conditioning us, getting us, ready for it. That was my purpose. And I was like, anything beyond that, okay, it's time to go. So then I asked for high-ranking protection. I knew what was going on. So there was different things that would happen. And then where I stayed at the time, it was interesting how they set that up. I actually, it wasn't a bad place. I actually liked it. I did, with the exception of, it being in Sodom. But it was, yeah, it was very nice. And it was almost the way they set it up, kind of secure. It was kind of secure. It was going to be so hard. It was going to be so enough hard. Hard for motherfuckers, to just raise up and roll up at the door and shit. It wasn't going to work like that. It wasn't set up that way. But, you still had that stalkery energy. People still coming, doing little shit, dropping shit on the door. Some of the motherfuckers that probably lived in there and shit, because there's a lot of dizzy motherfuckers. That's all I'm going to say about Sodom. So, just constantly doing that, you know what I mean? At different places that I frequent and all of that. Yeah. So that's why a lot of stuff shifted towards the end there as well, because it's like, okay, it's too many of these weird motherfuckers doing shit. Why they worrying about if I'm driving and not? Is that the motherfucker that, you know what I'm saying? Why they worry about? I ain't crazy. I'm not stupid. So, I was granted that extension so I can keep healing and so that I can keep planning and preparing for what was already done. So when that's the case, you will be granted the protection and the safety and the buffers and the stealth and the shields that you need. But once your guides have told you that time is up and they have said, listen, we're stepping in, we're helping you, you're given intuition and all this for a reason. You have served your role, and while you're here, you've done what you needed to do. It's time for you to go because the lunatics are at the door. And if we're honest, like I said, if we bring this stuff to the 3D and simplify it and not religify it, not spiritualify it or mystify it, there's nobody in their sane mind, I'm going to say it that way, in their sanity, in their full capacities, that's just going to stand there and let somebody without a fight wreak havoc to their home and their home without a fight. Calling the cops. I mean, you're going to do something. You're going to do what you can within your means to do. You're not going to just say, come in, killer, lunatic. Not willingly, not easily. And so learn how to equate that to anything else, even spirituality. No matter what we want to call ourselves, you're not going to just be sitting there talking sweet and kind and soft all the time. That's what I'm trying to say. It's up to us to learn how to figure that out for ourselves. Okay? What else was I going to share here? It was something else. And if I think of it later, then I'm going to come back. Um, Dang it. I'm sorry, guys. It was something else that I felt like would be very useful for some of you, but it must not be all that important. So if it is, then I would just simply come back and do some form of another video if it's really all that relevant. Okay. But at the end of the day, learn how to look past the surface of things. Learn how to look past the seemingly acts of kindness and service and charity. Learn how to look past, the manipulation, the tears, and be open. Set an intention to be more open-minded to the realities that there's probably far more in this universe and far more going on than you have been conditioned to believe is. And when you can set that intention, it'll broaden you to realize all of the things that have been going on in the background and that could be very well going on in your life. Okay? Don't jump to conclusions when you're hearing people say things. You don't know what they have gone through and have dealt with these people and situations. If they were not granted the same opportunity in your presence as that other person. So you don't know. You may have your opinions about things and your views, but you don't know. And it'll serve you well, okay, to not go there. And then especially to not get on a bandwagon with these types of people because you're going to get your karma for it. Okay. And then beating up people like that, like myself, I was trying to heal and ascend and recover, first of all, from uprooting me and my son's life. And then all of the traumatic events I went through with my sister and my family. And then when you're coming back, having people trying to look down on you and beat up on you, yet codependent on you and wanting your energy there. That's not right. That's narcissistic. They need you to feel low so they can feel good. And that is my sister's MO as well as my mother's. And they do this in insidious, very subtle and covert ways that you have to be a little bit fully there within yourself to be able to pick up on. Because at the end of the day, if these people were so caring, they wouldn't have done the things that they've done to me. So any of you out there, you shouldn't have fell for it regarding him. Okay? Because if they cared that much, they wouldn't have done the shit they did to me. If they were such a caring and sacrificial person, so concerned and so this, they wouldn't have done the things to me. There's no way they would have kicked me and my son out at night on no fuck shit. There's no way on God's green earth they would have did it. So don't buy it. No matter if they were upset, if they were stressed, if they were mad, that motherfucker, they ain't saying that about the motherfucker. So they're busted. You guys got to learn how to put the pieces together. Because I know who my counterpart was. Okay. I know. So that's another bunch of malarkey as well. Learn this. If people's families are starting to come to you, take these precautionary tales. People, friends, it's like be one to first of all shut it down and say, why don't we all get together? Be one of those kind of people, because that's who I'm going to start being in my life. It's going to be no more of that. This one is trying to sneak and call you here. This one is trying to sneak and call you there. This one's trying to like the phone tree shit, the alphabet game and shit. This is how triangulation is able to live. This is why. So as for my life, I won't be doing stuff like that. And I invite you all, whether you're the collective or just some outside folks that kind of watched and saw things, be one to shut that stuff down and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we all, and see how quick people start choking and stuttering and biting their tongue and doing all kind of weird shit. Because this is when you're going to see that, eureka. This ain't about truth. This ain't about benevolence. This is not about fairness. This is not about purity. This isn't about godly or whatever you want to call it. Because when people are operating in that energy, when someone comes in and says something like that, they don't have a problem with it. Why don't we all, everybody showing up got a lot to say. Everybody got opinion, and this person wasn't given an opportunity to start. Y'all's managed to do all this stuff in the background behind the scene, and now y'all feeling some kind of way because they blasting your ass out. So why don't we all, because it's harder to lie and manipulate and triangulate when this happens. It's harder to do. Okay, they got to keep up with the lies. They got to remember what was the lies told to each other. Ding dong to the other one. Yes, and they have to remember that. Ding dong, look at this is truth. Look at this shit. Okay, so it's like, oh, fuck me, because what if I told something to that one and that one? And see, this is when you're going to find out the truth about people's intentions and their real heart and their real motives and the real reasons behind all of what have happened. And this is why then you'll hear Hiokas like myself down the road, right? So, oh, okay, we'll blast it out. We're going to blast it out. We will be heard. We will speak our truths, right? So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. And I hope those tips and tricks that I talked about, that one thing, because that's a notorious tactic of my sister and my mother for sure. It's notorious tactics of most narcs. They do spells on you. They, drain your energy, your life force. They try to throw chaos and magic in every area of your life to sabotage you so that you'll end up codependent on them so they can poison you further and then talk about you and tear you down and still try. Yeah, that's their vicious cycle. And then making you feel like you need them. And it was always the other way around. It took me a long time to grab that lesson. And it was not until I finally detached when my real healing catapulted. And then they still started sending shit. I know all about what they've been doing and sending. Oh, yeah, I do. But that's still when my healing started catapulting, when I started seeing all the shit for what it was. This is why I tell people sometimes you got to separate to get your head on straight. And once you get on straight, don't make it too late. Because if you keep going back into the devil's arena, one time too many, it'll be the end. It'll be that last trap. They'll take over you with all these entities and all the fuck shit and the shit that they're putting on your clothes and your fucking food, sticking shit in the refrigerator. These people aren't to be trusted. I had to learn that. It's hard for other people to see that when you're dealing with people with these religious costumes and these personas of sorry and remorse. They do not have remorse. Their remorse is only based on they don't want to lose. Let me tell you guys another story, and then I'm done. When I was living with my mother in Elko, when I ended up there, this is the crazy fuck shit story saga that never happened until we came to Nevada. But anyway, so when I lived with my mom, at that time I was dating somebody. I was actually engaged. I was engaged. I know some people's like, yeah, I know, but it's true. It is true. Okay. Prior to that, I was at my sister's house, and because we were still at the early stages of the dating and wasn't sure how we were going to do something. And so it was like, okay, I was like, well, he had to take me to my mom's. Now, let me tell you guys something else about their nature. When I was dating this guy, they both had issues with it. My sister was triggered and irritated by it. It's like they don't want to see you have fun. They didn't want to see me happy and having fun and having love and somebody. It's a trip. I watched this shit. I watched it. When I got up there with my mom, the same thing. because at that time, not my last ex, but I'm trying to make it clear so people don't mix up the folks, okay? So not my last ex, okay, but the ex before him, who I was engaged to, okay. Um, when he took me to my mom's to Elko, and then at that time, he came back to Nevada. But we were at that time, we were super close. Okay. I'll just put it that way at that time. So he was working his job, and then he was working his job, his side business, and writing his book. Okay. At that time, at that time. But in spite of all that, we were still very close. So he used to call me a lot. Okay. This was like the regular. This wasn't like every so often he'll call. It was like daily. Okay. Every day, because that was his way. And that was supposed to be the attempt of us trying to, you know, he felt it was important. It was a part of trying to still keep the connection open. And, especially since we were so far apart. So we did a lot of Skyping. We did a lot of, all that type of stuff when he was at work, through the breaks and stuff. And so my mom, used to say little snarly comments about how we were talking all the time and just little weird shit. It's like they didn't like the idea of somebody. They probably started their spell work on him. I wouldn't be surprised. I know they've been doing this shit for a long time. This is what I'm saying. They don't know the lengths and depths in which I know what the fuck they've been doing. So, just all of that jealous energy and just weird. But let me tell you something. When I wasn't happy, see, I was always sensitive to energy and knowing that was something wrong with them and something wrong with being around them. And I couldn't always put my finger on it. It wasn't that I was trying to be sedity. It was off. It was wrong. It was weird. You can tell. My son never wanted to be in these places, and he don't have the same thought processes and rationales as, I do. It's energy. So I remember talking to my ex fiance, my other ex, my ex fiance at the time when I was staying there, because I think I'd stayed there for like a month or two. I was like, hell nah. They like to make things difficult and challenging for you and act like they're not doing that. That's another one of their common traits. Making things difficult and challenging for you and harder than it has to be, but act like they're not. Okay? In subtle ways. I'm doing the best I can. No, don't buy that. Because when it comes to them, they got get right and smarts and clarity and everything else they need. Don't buy that. Okay? So when it was time, I was talking to my ex-fiance, because, back then, I was believing a little different. So we shared literally everything together, thoughts, each other's situations, background, experiences, concerns, and all of those things. And so I remember we were talking and we were trying to prepare for something. And I was like, man, dude. And so that's when we sat down. Well, we didn't sit down, but we talked together and was like, okay, well, he was like, hey, he was like, we may have to just do this then. We may have to just do this. I was like, yeah. So we started planning, right? To get me out of there. Okay. And because I knew, see, when you start knowing something right about people, that something's eerie and weird and manipulative, and you're just like, I'm not gonna do this because we're not gonna do this. So I got up, I started planning and packing and all that. I'm like, I'm gone, and then I will say what I gotta say. I'll send a message, I'll say thank you, I'll say whatever, but I'm out. I'm not fencing to do all of that. They don't need to know. Because see, when you tell these people this shit, they start going to work and doing magic and manipulation. This is when I learned that sometimes if you're trying to free yourself out of a dark situation, don't say shit to nobody. I had to learn that because they call it, they're just trying to communicate. No, they're just trying to communicate to figure out what's in your head, to figure out how they're going to do their next spell. And to figure out what other angle they can use to manipulate you and what other angle they can use to make you confused and see something differently. So I learned to shut the fuck up. I sure did. I was like, yeah, I will be saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I went on day to day as normal. Because I was like, nope, we're going to get out of here. And then I'm going to say, what I need to say out, my thank yous or whatever. But I'm not doing that until I'm done, because I'm not going to sit here so there can be more strategizing. And let me tell you why I'm saying this. When I actually moved, when the day came, when I moved from Elko, my ex had to come it was something like he had to come on a certain day and time. It was we had a limited window of some shit of how it had to happen. And so my mom, I think at that time, she was still working or able to work. So I think she might have still been at her job. My stepdad was probably still working, but on his way back or something. It was something like that. Okay. So my stepdad got back as I was almost done. Me and my son's stuff was pretty much packed up. My ex-fiance had, he had rented I think he had a van or some shit, because he knew that we had all this stuff. So instead of his car, he did the van. And we were almost about done, and we were getting ready to go. And then my stepdad saw that. And so he called my mom to let her know, see, this is something else so y'all can know. They typically do spell work on these men, sex magic, and drain the life and all of that out of these men and control them. Okay, that way. It's not what you think, though. I had to learn that too. So it's like, why the fuck you calling them? They're like, you see how you say like they're emasculated, whatever that word is, right? Which was fine, because I was like, okay, well, she was on her way, and I was like, oh, she came in, and oh my God, this is where I'm talking about the manipulation and the drama. So I was like, yeah, we have to go. I was like, yeah, this is not working out. I wasn't mean to her, when I said any of those things. I wasn't saying the stuff I'm saying now, because of course, from this point, I know who she really is and all the stuff she's been doing to me. Okay. Back then, I was only aware of what something subtle, like something was wrong and not right. And that's all I knew. And that every time I was close and around these people for any significant lengths of time, shit seemed to not work. Shit seemed to not go well. Shit seemed to be slow. I seemed to be tired. I wasn't happy. And so I just started putting it together. Like, I don't need to have all the facts. All I need to know is some fucking shit off. And so from there, I moved on. So when she came and she saw all of that, you would have thought it was like, if I was, that's could have been there, man. She was crying and boo-hoo with the tears. She's like, what's going on? I don't understand. Like, please, she was making it this whole thing. And I was just looking at her, because it was like, I wasn't in a mean energy. I wasn't talking like how I'm saying now. It wasn't there. I was just like, I have to go. It's not working. This is not for me. It's not for me and Darrell. We're not comfortable here. It's not, and I talked with, who my ex was at the time. And, we just decided that we'll just try to make do and go forward and figure it out in a different way. Because, this is just not working out. So it wasn't like that. But the reason why is because she's codependent, is my point. They are obsessed with divine's energies. Okay. They're obsessed with divine's energies, and they're healing, because she's another one that was always trying to get me to touch her or my son to touch her. You got to start asking questions. See, I had to go that deep. Like, what is that? Right? It seems like not a big deal, but then when you start looking back, you go, oh. And then we absorb their karma, and then they're codependent on the energy so they can create. See, I started putting it all together. Because she's been doing this stuff on me as a part of why her health condition is what it is. She never, the lunatics mind, they can't put that together. To them, they try to, kind of like spiritualize it, or they're trying to kind of like be like, ooh, it's just life and how God. No, actually, that condition is somewhat connected to your karma. It's not just to what she did to me, it's her own mother as well. The spells and the things she took part in Louisiana, with my little sister's people and so forth. Her incessant envy and jealousy and all the fuck shit she's been doing towards me my entire life is why her condition is as such. It's also why some others are about to start to see some very interesting things as well. For wishing evil on my appearance and all of that out of their own envy and jealousy. And all that they have taken pride in is about to be a nice little surprise. When I left, she cried and had a hissy fit. You would have thought it was the end times, man. You would have thought it was end times. I was like, Mom, because see, back then I wasn't in this framework. I wasn't in Hioka. Like, it's time to call all the asses. Line them up, motherfuckers. Let's line them up. Equalizers, come to the whole front right here. Let's deal with this shit. But back then, I was like, Mom, I was like, we okay? I was like, we're gonna be all right. Like, I gotta go. I was like, I gotta go. This is not working. But see, it was also because it's like, how are we gonna keep putting on the spells? How are we gonna keep putting shit in shit? How are we gonna keep speaking shit over shit? Because they need you to be close for it to have a lot of full effect. They need you to be within the proximity of them. They need you to be sitting in their energy and in their environments and around them for this stuff to be happening so they can keep sprinkling shit and putting shit and speaking shit and shimmy shimmy and all those little things, and so that you can keep absorbing their karma and being all confused about what the hell is happening and going on. So that's what the real tears was about. Oh gosh, our ritual is not going to take effect. She's getting away again. She's getting away again. She's getting away again. So then they went to house on my connection with my ex-fiance. They think I don't know about that, but I do. Again, because it's about them trying to corner me in, not wanting me to have love and happiness of my own, independence and a life of my own, not wanting to, in their eyes, do better than them. God forbid, oh, she shouldn't be seen more than me. She shouldn't be loved more than me. She shouldn't be appreciated more than me. She shouldn't be celebrated more than me. She shouldn't have. So, yeah. So they went to work on that to cause chaos and conflict. Okay. Yeah. So, as anybody come on here, ever at some point, if you wasn't really around and didn't really know, and you're just listening to my three nieces and my mother and my little sister, you're going to be misguided and misled. This is why I said, when people are legit and they're sincere, they would be like, let's all, how about we all, oh, this is what you're saying about your sister number 2, mother, and other sister. This is what you're saying about her. Let's call her. Why don't we, we're saying we're benevolent and loving, godly beings here. We're saying we don't mean any harm and we're just so concerned, of the poor old soul. So let's just be the loving beings we're saying. Let's, all get together. Let's get together and call, or, call her and, and just say, hey, we all wanted to call and let this is what happened, this is what's going on. And actually, I'm, let's say boyfriend, so and so, your mother, your sister number one, and your other sister, which, I started befriending and I shouldn't have, and then end up fucking and getting into some fuck shit, took their guidance. They're, they have a lot to say. And, though I'm in remorse and regret about even entertaining these friendships and these connections behind you, I desire, at the end of the day, because I'm saying I learned my lesson and I'm changed and I'm repenting and I'm sorry and I'm healing and I'm ascending and I'm doing these things, you see. So because of that, it's a requirement of me. I must do this. So let's try. Let's all of us call, blah, blah, blah. Come on, let's do it. Sister number one, nieces 1, 2, and 3, mother, and the daughter. Let's all do that then, since, this is what everybody has to say. Let's say it with her around. And if they would have refused and made any excuse, then these are supposed to be lessons and clues to people that there is foul play. The only way they can confuse people is to keep them triangulated and separated. It's one of the reasons why they try and do that with counterparts and twins, because that's the only way their things work. This is why they collaborate with all of the karmic energy surrounding those journeys. So the friends and families that are karmics, the past fours, whatever they're into, this is why they start doing that shit. Right? Because that's their only way. And so when they're talking about they're trying to do something right and they're changing, people need to have some kind of intelligence. That's why I smile, because I find it fascinating how people try to act like they're so smart. And it's like, you can have a level of intelligence but still be dumb, because it's like you don't see through that. You don't see through it. Because when you're sincere and benevolent, you don't really shake. See, here's the thing, you don't shake. You have nothing to worry about. Because when it comes to, okay, y'all wants to talk because you finna say the shit. Like, you're like, okay. You're not concerned with what it done. No, you're like, look, this is in the name. You're coming in the right energy. You're standing in, truth. You really don't feel compelled to go, oh no, yeah, it might be best that it's, it's kept secret, because, we don't, she's into that and we don't want to hurt her feelings, saying the shit that they're doing. She's probably going to do the spells that they've been put on your ass. Yeah. Divine loving beings don't conduct the way they did and the way they do. And if and when people were ever really ready to make something right, they would have, and it would have been collectively, if that's what it was going to be. If not, it would have been singly, because you can't make somebody do nothing. So no matter how you want to flip the pancake, nobody's getting off. Nobody gets off. Because you can't control the others. You're absolutely correct. You cannot. The others didn't want to do it. Understood. Absolutely correct. If other shit start happening, I ain't sitting in no shit motherfuckers bullying me and threatening me. I'll be like, well, I'm fixing to be found out then, shit. I'm serious. I don't like that energy. You're not finna fucking blackmail me. Then I'm just gonna have to be found out. Okay, my part, I'm gonna have to suffer my penalties. I'm gonna have to fucking be found out because I'm trying to clear my shit. To hell with what y'all doing. You can stay in that if you want, but I'm not going down with the rest of these shits. I'm trying to clear my shit. Whoa. Because at the end of the day, that's what's coming for you. Your karma coming for you. So I had to learn that too, y'all. That's another reason that will start pushing me to understand and go on this journey. And it's like, look, you can't control. You got to let all this shit go. You can't drag people on the path. You can't drag people to ascension. You can't drag people to sin. You can't drag people to none of that. And you ain't supposed to wait till their asses do it. You're supposed to release them and go on. Hold your lesson, that the whole point of why you were ever there. The whole point, that past life energy, the reason why all of that stuff was. Grab that, but go somewhere and heal. Separate to get your head on straight. And I realized that as long as I was connected to my family, as long as I stayed involved, as long as I stayed in close proximity, it was one thing and another. And then they would still try to send stuff after I go to confuse me. See, this is when awakening kicks in and helps you. Because this is why people keep running back and trauma bonding and Stockholm syndrome, trauma bonding, Stockholm syndrome. That's another tactic that they use. My family would never call me. It was usually some kind of traumatic event to trauma bond. So-and-so died, my mom, when her best friend died. They don't talk to me much, but you see, this is the little behind the scenes stuff that nobody knows. That's why I'm like, people fencing them, they fencing to talk their own face off because they don't know what the hell then went down for real. When her best friend died, she calls me like, I'm told like I'm supposed to be the appointed guru. They wanted to feed on my energy. That's what that shit is about. It's like, okay. Oh, she died and stuff. Okay. Okay. You know, and I was empathetic and all that and stuff back then. But the point that I'm making is you start picking up on the patterns of how these people operate. Common with you, then it's going to be more about trauma bonding and things like that. You know, that's about it. And that's how they keep the cycles of these things going. So with that being said, I think I am done. I'm getting ready to go. And you guys are promised collective. If you're the high vibe tribers here, you guys already know when you hear me go into the rough, just understand I'm probably talking and directing it to your karmics, okay? On a collective scale as well as my own, okay? And so please don't take offense to that if you're somebody that's really here in this energy of, you know, like the rest of us, we're not perfect, but we're certainly healing and changing, and we're not repeating cycles. We're not doing the same shit over and over again. We're not staying in, you know, devil energy. We're not going about trying to hurt people and scam people. And you know what I'm saying? And if you know that that's you, even if you used to be one of those people, if you know that that's no longer you, then know that I'm not addressing it to you. To those of you who are trying the best you can and you're really healing and you're sincere, for you, for those of you that you know fits, y'all, I'm cheerleading for y'all, man. I'm sending y'all's the energy because you know you're in war for your liberation and freedom and coming out of your addictions and coming out of your attachments and stuff like that. So I'm not attacking you all. I'm attacking what needs to be attacked. But I'm not attacking you all in your journey, okay? Keep at it. Keep working with your guides, but you just have to know that Your victory and success and healing is imperative on your surrender. It's a painful lesson that most of us have to eventually catch. Like, we don't get to run them or dictate, you know, these universal laws. You know, the spirit guides are there for you for a reason, to get you to navigate through your awakening and healing. And when they feel like that's being dishonored or you're not taking it seriously, they don't take it lightly either. Okay. So that's why I be saying it is imperative. Stay with it. It could be life or death for you. Your obedience or your lack thereof to your own guidance, your own promptings that you're getting. Okay. Because you deserve it no matter how rough it is. The life you need, the life you want, you deserve it no matter what you've done. I keep saying this because people get all trippy. I keep saying it. I'm like, oh my gosh. No, divines aren't perfect. No, I'm not implying that. No, I'm not implying that they didn't make mistakes themselves in these connections on some level. But I can promise you they were never malevolent. I can promise you they were never doing, well, some of them, I can't promise, because some of them, if they were too dark in their shadow, they did spell work. But most divines, no, they have never plotted to hurt and scheme, even in their failings and failures and mistakes and weaknesses. And what marks them different is they heal, they learn, they grow, and they don't stay in those same patterns of behavior. That's why you guys hear us talk like that. Those that embrace their journey, they learned from their past mistakes when they were in their lower vibration, when they engaged in something toxic, when they had their addictions, when they made poor decisions. The karmic energy template are those that are opting to stay there. They have refused growth and healing. They only want it in the 3D surface appearance purpose. And in some cases, like I said, the worst karmics, those are the ones that go to the dark side. This is why they have such low vibrational frequencies and beings on them. Because not only did they refuse their own right to their own healing and their ascension and growth process, they refused it on top of deciding to go the other direction, to not only hurt their own lives, but to target divines, which is why they have so much whoop ass that they will be living out, especially mine. They will wish on their last breath that they didn't do it. So when we stay attached and stay in these places, it only hurts us. And then, like I said, divine beings are no exception. They get taken advantage of and used for parts until they're gone. It gets really bad when the divines don't surrender to their path. That's what happened to my grandmother. She couldn't surrender. She didn't want to. She couldn't. It was hard. She was plagued very similarly but different. Her story is similar but different. But because she was who she was on a soul level, when she died, when she died, then they have to get the reviews and deal with the uppers and all of that, and it's determined as such. In her case, then there was things done and created to still be able to bring forth the purpose that she had came for the bloodlines, for herself, and passing in the baton. So she became one of the guys and then passing the baton. But the baton was to the one who was truly in position and truly a starseed, not a fucking karmic. Anybody can talk about they're the starseed and they're the this and they're that. This is why you got to do your journey. Because they sure wouldn't have been doing no death spells and fucking sucking fuck, on their own family, motherfucker. We have to learn to do the work, man. It's not about the labels. You got to start sensing and looking at shit. My sister came to Sodom and Gomorrah and she let it overtake her. She was already a karmic. She was already the lunatic mind. She was already a karmic. She had violations as a child. There are so many stories I could tell you guys. And will probably, as time proceeds, as guided. But leaving and going to Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, if, she took it to the other side, it only made it worse. So she certainly wasn't the one being appointed. She didn't want to do real healing. She wanted to dive into the addictions and the attachments and the dark side of things. You ain't the one to do no shit. Same shit like them stories in the Bibles. I tell people all the time, if you want to know some shit, listen to the dysfunctions in some of them scriptures. You're going to see how motherfuckers act today. Same shit. Judah wanted to praise, so he wanted to get rid of Joseph. It's simple. Cain wanted to praise, so he wanted to get rid of Abel. It's simple. Saul wanted to praise, so he wanted to get rid of David. It's simple. People need to start thinking about all the stuff they claim they know. That's all I'm going to say.